The Remington shotgun trembled in her grip as boots thudded on the creaky porch boards. 2 riders, maybe more. Anna backed against the log wall, her sister's faded wedding gown dangling like a specter in the corner. "We know you're alone in there, darling," a rough voice called. 10 years. 10 long years. Jack Harlan had survived solo on this vast Montana spread, loyal to his late wife's shadow until last month when her sister showed up unannounced, with eyes like stormy skies and troubles that could unravel them both. Now those eyes aimed down the iron sights, waiting for the man who'd vowed never to feel again. The door buckled under a kick. Would he make it back in time? And what would their hidden passion cost? The year was 1892, and the Montana frontier was still raw country for men who staked their lives on steers and endless barbed wire. Jack Harlan fit right in 6'2" of tough hide and buried sorrow, running 200 head across 50,000 acres of rolling hills that faded into the Rockies. His palms spoke volumes. Rope scars, branding irons burns, the rough edges of a guy who'd built a life from scratch, then rebuilt it from ashes. Mary had passed 9 winters back, lost to a brutal January freeze while fetching water from the creek. He'd kept her stuff untouched, the green shawl in the closet, her comb on the nightstand with a few red strands clinging, the double bed under blankets that smelled of sage and loss. Neighbors' wives dropped off stews, their girls batted eyes on supply runs. But Jack Harlan had loved once, deep and true, and when that love froze solid, so did he. The mail came weekly from Seattle, Mary's kin checking on poor Jack, though they'd sneered at her hitching to a cattleman. He tossed him in the fire unreadunal the one in September. "Amelia's in a bind. She's bolted from a match with Victor Langford, you know, the railroad baron. She's fixated on the solace Mary described in Montana. If she turns up, don't send her packing. She's got no other refuge. Eleanor Dawson." He burned that too, but the plea stuck like burrs as October winds howled. She arrived on a crisp evening. Jack was fixing a gate under a lantern glow when he rode up to lights flickering in his cabin, windows the first after-dark warmth in years. She perched at Mary's oak table, flipping through Mary's old letters. Jack froze in the doorway, pulse racing. Same fiery hair, same slender fingers, same thoughtful tilt to her head. But where Mary had been steady like a calm river, this woman sparked like wildfire. "You're Amelia?" "Anna." She glanced up, her eyes gray where Mary's were hazel different, yet hauntingly close. "Sorry for barging in." The door wasn't latched. "Locks are for city folk," he grunted, stepping in, suddenly aware of his dusty chaps and trail sweat. "Your folks are frettin'. My folks traded me for stock options." Her tone had a bite that Mary's lacked. Victor Langford dangled timber rights for a fresh bride. "I'd sooner starve in Montana than choke in Seattle." Rain pattered on the tin roof, the kind that could turn to sleet overnight. "Storm's brewing," Jack said. "I know." She shut the letters. Mary wrote about Montana's storms, how they could crush you if you weren't ready, or rebuild you if you faced him head-on. What had Mary shared about this land? About him? And why did staring at Anna Dawson feel like choking on air? She was hopeless in the kitchen, scorched the biscuits, oversalted the stew, and almost torched the place fiddling with Mary's cast-iron stove. "City gal," Jack grumbled, scrubbing her mess. "I can figure it out." Anna stood framed in the doorway, Mary's apron over her city blouse, twisting his gut. Mary picked it up, didn't she? Mary was built different. He couldn't say how Mary liked soft dawn, Anna liked a prairie blaze. Mary had slipped into ranch life seamlessly. Anna battled every bit the quiet, the grind, the vast nothing. But she was bullheaded. When he caught her at sunup in the barn, fumbling with the milk pail on hands smooth as satin, something cracked in him. "Like this," he said, easing behind her, his rough palms over hers on the stool. Steady but sure. She smelled of lilac and grit. When she leaned into him, just a second, Jack's breath hitched. "There," she murmured as milk streamed in. "Got it. Yeah, you did." He pulled back fast before regret turned to ruin. The norther blew, and 4 days later, winds howling like banshees, snow blotting out the world. Jack tallied half his herd gone, drifted into gullies by the gale. "Gotta round 'em up," he told Anna, yanking on his oilskin. "In this, you'll freeze solid. They're my everything." But she was already grabbing Mary's wool coat, jaw set in that familiar stubborn line. "Then I'm with you." "No way. You need backup, and I need to earn my keep." Did she fit here? And what toll would proving it take? They tracked the steers to a ravine 3 miles out, iced over but breathing. By the drove home, Anna's face was ashen, her fingers numb. Jack stoked the hearth and brewed whiskey-spiked tea. She huddled in quilts, shivering. "Thanks," he said low. "For what?" "Not quitting." She eyed him over the mug, and for a beat, he saw not Mary's echo but Anna Dawson fierce, unyielding, stunning on her terms. Is this what Mary meant? This. Fitting in. Mary didn't fight for it. Maybe that's why I'm staying to claim what she didn't. The words lingered like embers. Jack bolted up, fleeing to solitude. But that night, in his empty bed, he strained for her breath next door, wondering what company might feel like after so long. When her sobs leaked through the wall quiet, Hidden clenched his fists against the urge to comfort. Some fights were solo. The Outlaws hit on a Wednesday while Jack was in town for wire. Anna spotted him from the window, 3 horsemen slinking like coyotes, the type she'd dodged in Seattle. Takers who didn't ask. Mary's letters warned of him drifters hitting lone homesteads 8 days away. She grabbed the Remington from the rack, hands quaking as she loaded shells. Never shot before. "Howdy, homestead," the leader barked, voice oily as a con man. "Just needing water for the mounts." Anna stayed mute, willing him gone. They weren't. The door smashed in, shards flying. The big one strode through, hat tipped mockingly. "Well, ain't this cozy? Pretty thing all by her lonesome." His gaze crawled like filth. "Husband around?" "Out," she said steadily, though her knees knocked. "Back late. Plenty of time to chat." The second appeared, wiry with a knife scar twisting his grin. Real neighborly. The shotgun weighed a ton. "Back off." "Or what?" Big one chuckled. "You know how to work that, sweetheart." She shouldered it like she'd seen Jack do. "Enough." He charged. Boone the blast shredded plaster by his ear. They halted. Next one center mass. She racked another shell, mimicking Jack's drills. "Your call." For a second, hope flickered a might bolt. But Big One's eyes narrowed at her shake. 3 shells left. "Think you can drop us all?" They split, circling. Anna retreated to the table, swinging the barrel. "Easy now, Scarface cooed. No need for blood. We just wanna visit." Friendly-like, the Big One added, hand on his holster. Anna fired the slug, clipped his arm, slamming him back, blood spraying. He howled. 2 left. Scarface drew. "You bitch." Shot Earl. Shoulda left. But adrenaline blurred her sight. His revolver rose, and Anna knew death stared back. The door exploded open. Jack Harlan stormed in like fury incarnate, his peacemaker drawn. Eyes scanned. Anna cornered. Wounded thug slumped, Scarface aiming at her chest. "Drop it." Cold. Final tone of a man who'd buried threats before. Scarface wavered. Jack's shot cracked, blowing the pistol from his grip, mangling fingers. Screams echoed as he crumpled. "Both of you, get before I end it." The pair scrambled out, blood trailing over Mary's scrub floor. Hooves thundered away. Anna stood rigid, shotgun gripped tight. The body lagged behind the calm. "Anna." Jack's voice softened, approaching slowly. "You're okay." She met his gaze, seeing his terror masked. "I thought." She faltered, legs buckling. He caught her, pulling close. His heart thumped wild as hers. "You held him off," he murmured in her hair. Mary's gun in a Dawson girl's hands? They didn't stand a chance. She looked up, close enough to trace his worry lines, spot gray in his stubble. Close enough for the spark to ignite. This was a line crossed or forever held. They knew. Jack! Her whisper shattered him. 9 years of isolation. 9 years honoring grief. 9 years convincing himself love was a closed chapter. But Anna Dawson was real, vibrant in his arms, gazing like redemption, not ruin. He kissed her soft at first, a test answered, then fierce, all that pent-up need crashing free. She tasted of tea and fire, fingers clutching his shirt, drawing him nearer. Jack forgot all but the rush of connection. He pressed her to the table, lips trailing her throat. Her gasp hit like thunder. Anna. His hands fumbled her blouse buttons. She didn't resist, yanking his belt. Madness. Treason to memory. Yet it felt right in years. Her blouse fell, baring pale skin and curves. She stood in her underthings, bold and yearning. Jack reached in, froze. On the shelf, Mary's tintype stared, eyes eternal. His wife. First love. The one he'd held as life slipped away, swearing endless devotion. Guilt punched like a gut shot. Can't. He retreated, breath ragged. Lord, I can't. Anna's expression shattered. Jack, this is Mary's home. Mary's life. Mary's. He choked on husband. It'd destroy them. She redressed, hands unsteady. I get it. Can't rival a phantom. She brushed past to the bedroom, back rigid through tears. The door shut softly as heartbreak. Jack stood amid chaos, his walls crumbled. Outside, winds moaned. Inside, quiet bled like an open vein. Mary's photo beamed unchanging. Some vows were ironclad. But what when iron met flesh? When honor clashed with hunger? When a ghost blocked living souls? Come dawn, Anna vanished. The note, brief, scripted neat. Thanks for the glimpse of Mary's peace. Sorry, I couldn't fill her shoes. Stage leaves Billings at midday. Hey. Jack reread it in the chill kitchen, coffee stale, fire dead. He oughta let her fade count blessings. Temptation fled before doom. Instead, he saddled his best Mustang. The trail to Billings snaked 42 miles over rugged plains. Jack rode hard, horse lathering under spur. The stage horn blared faintly, closing in. Too distant, too late. But he pushed, cause some shots were singular, cause 9 years taught the crush of unspoken regrets, cause Anna Dawson merited love in her own light, not shade. The depot loomed through dust-hazed wooden sheds by iron tracks linking Montana to the world. The eastbound coach idled, passengers boarding for Salt Lake, Denver beyond. He spied her on the platform, small in her coat, gripping a valise like a lifeline. She eyed the stage with dread, like facing a noose. Jack swung down, boots thumping boards. She turned, face flashing shock, hurt, maybe hope. You rode. The horn wailed. All aboard. Last call east. He neared, close to wiping her unshed tears if dared. He dared a lot now. A driver shouted, stops. Seattle, cities of deals and force ties. The horn shrieked. Wheels creaked forward. He extended his hand. Come home, Anna. She glanced at the coach, his palm. The endless Montana blue promising grit, grass, and love earned hard like diamonds. She grasped it. The stage rolled off, hauling others to other fates. Jack and Anna stood linked, watching it shrink. She smiled not Mary's warm glow, but pure Anna, fierce and true. Took me forever to see I wasn't fleeing, I was chasing this. They headed to his horse, two against the horizon. Above, Montana skies sprawled vast, ripe with storms and promise. Behind, The horn died to echo. What do you think about Jack's choice? Was it betrayal to Mary's memory, or fair game after so long? Should Anna have fought harder, or was walking away the right call? Drop your take in the comments. Love hearing where you stand on these tough calls. Let's debate.